Hi, my name is John Roberts. I'm the president of Mindwarm Incorporated. I'm a longtime Portland area technologist with over 25 years of experience in the technology industry and a particular background in mobile phone programming. And last year, Qualcomm, the company I was working for, shut down their Portland office. So a couple friends of mine from Qualcomm and myself, and later one other person from the area, decided to start a business developing mobile phone application programs. So we went into that business and we developed a contact exchange program called SWIP, so you could take out your phone and just beam a contact to someone sitting right across from you. And we're developing other mobile phone applications and coming out with a more general purpose server-based solution next year. It's kind of a thumbnail sketch. So I think what we've learned in the past year, and you think about what has happened in the sales of mobile phone applications, it has exploded in 1,000 different directions. We really have Apple pioneering the way, and Steve Jobs being the ultimate Tom Sawyer of the technology industry, getting everybody to pay to paint his fence. Corporations are funding mobile phone application development at incredible paces, spending tens of billions of dollars just paying people to write a mobile phone app for them. They're kind of doing this in the same way they look at web pages. They're saying this is a form of advertising for our business. We're going to dump money into this and dump money to companies like mine who are consulting to help them get their presence available on phones. So if you're swimming against that stream trying to make money, right now the big money is coming in consulting and consulting services with companies because they really want to pioneer this technology, because this is what people are carrying with them. This is how people are looking at the internet everywhere. You may be watching this video right now on a mobile phone for all I know. But if you're trying to make money in the App Store, if you're trying to come out with a killer app, that's really hard news. You've got maybe 250,000 apps to compete with. You've got a huge SEO problem trying to get discovered in an app store, and maybe a very small portal in the Android market. So that's where you have to have a tie-in to some other product or service because of this loss leader aspect that other companies are using the App Store and phones for. So that's something I learned over the past year. I wasn't expecting to learn that. I thought it might be possible to build a business by developing a high-quality, well-engineered software application, charge a significant amount of money for it, say $10, but I think with the choices available to users out there, that's a very difficult proposition. Really, the freemium model where people can download a free app and pay for a service on the web, kind of like what Everest is doing with their app, is the way things are going in the phone industry. And I think it's very hard even to come out with a 99-cent app and sell them in large quantities, unless you've put a huge amount of engineering into something like Angry Birds put into their product. So for a startup, I think you're going to have to look at something that's a freemium. If you're looking at the mobile phone industry, either consulting, which we're doing, or a freemium-based model where you're putting out a free app, which is in a sense a form of advertising for some other business that you are providing, something on the server side. So I think that's something we learned over the past year. The consulting has kept us going, but even though we have applications out there and they're very well engineered, high-quality applications for contact exchange or some entertainment and travel, they're not going to generate the kind of sales volume to sustain a business by itself. It has to be a piece of a much larger puzzle. One other thing I would say for today, and this is unique about this time in history, it is possible to do things in a distributed fashion that was not possible just a few years ago. If you're developing a product, it is possible to communicate over the internet. It is possible to have your source code repository on the internet. It is possible to share any piece of information almost simultaneously over the internet. So we are at a time in history where you can uniquely collaborate in a dispersed geographic area in a very easy way. I think being in the same time zone helps, and we're in the same city, so that really helps. But you don't need the office presence that I think you would have needed earlier to actually get a product out to market with this technology that's available. So I think we had some experience in the mobile industry, and we were able to do the engineering I don't think that was a particular hurdle. I think the marketing is the major hurdle. We're still trying to overcome that hurdle because of this huge sea of mobile phone applications. I think also something else, maybe going back to what we learned, I think we should have probably started with Android and done Apple second. If you do consulting now, everybody is willing to pay for iPhone. They all ask about Android, but when they sign checks, they want an iPhone app. So we kind of had to go that route to sustain ourselves as a consulting force. But if you think about building up a product and wanting to sell it to perhaps an OEM for a larger price tag than an individual application sale to an end user, then I think we have to develop a standard that is available to more manufacturers. And the Android platform is available to a large number of handset manufacturers, whereas Apple is one maker, and that's one yes or no. We want to have a group of potential customers for your product. So looking back on it, I think that's one thing we could have done, is maybe started with Android. We're moving to Android a little more focused now, but we started with iPhone because that's where the initial demand was, and we tried to go after it. Good. Well, you know, you're trying something new, and the mobile phone industry went in this unexpected way where I did not see corporations dumping tons of money to push out a presence as a phone app. You know, why is it important for them to have an app instead of just a mobile web page that you go to with the browser? Everybody wants that icon on the screen. That's kind of a little place of real estate in your mind from their point of view, that when they look, you'll see their icon. So I did not foresee that, and that, I think, has been maybe the major thing that made just selling a mobile phone app an extremely difficult proposition. And we're having to go I won't say entirely, but almost entirely for revenue based on consulting. So that was the one thing that was unexpected. I would say the internet-based resources are really the most useful for collaboration, for all kinds of communication, whether it's email or chat or even social networking, where you're finding out what other people are doing, where they're going to be to go meet someone who's an expert. That is one way search has evolved from just typing in Google, but to having a social network and asking friends, you know, where can I find someone who knows something about this? So I think the pervasiveness of the internet and how so many people are using it for so many things, you can solve almost any problem remotely now, it seems like. So that has been maybe the big thing I've learned in the past year also. It's been a big positive, that you don't have to necessarily be co-located to achieve a result quickly and effectively. I can't remember the name of this movie, but there was a movie back in the day where this early space program in the 60s where some astronaut was sent to the moon to find some place, and he wasn't supposed to land unless he knew where the place was, but he decided to land anyway, and he got there and he had this little mouse, this rubber mouse, and he just kind of spun it around and waited till it stopped, and he headed in that direction. It had a happy ending. He found where he was looking for, and sometimes you feel life is like that. You know, technologically we're standing at a point we could really do anything. We have a consulting business to sustain us. We've developed mobile phone expertise, and really that is going to be part of any technological solution in the future, in my opinion, just because so many people are adopting mobile technologies. It's not going to necessarily be the whole piece, but it's going to have to be part of the piece. I think we are still in a location, a place where we want to control our own destiny, but we realize that we have to grow from that piece. So that's where we need to move to the cloud, in essence. And that's the abyss, is the abyss of choice, of when you're at a place and you've discovered that, okay, what you've done is great, it could be part of something, but it's not enough. You have to persevere and go on. It inspires me to keep going. I think that's always a million things, what keeps you going in life. I think of my father in his mid-60s was still cutting out newspaper ads for jobs to apply for when he didn't need the money, or he didn't need work, but he was like the Energizer Bunny. He just had that energy, that drive to keep going. And sometimes that innate drive comes from a place that's not necessarily something external. He felt that interacting with people would give him the energy and joy to keep moving through life. And I think that's part of what you have to have as a person. You have to have some desire to go out and do things and share with other people and meet other people and have fun and enjoy what you do. And that's, you know, just kind of mushy-feely stuff, but that's really the truth too. I think there's a lot of inspirational figures around, and inspiration is where you find it. I was very moved by Scott Cavitin of Urban Airship, and he said something interesting early on last year at a talk at their site where they had started out their business with 3 laptops and an S3 account from Amazon. You think about that being the infrastructure of a business, and it gets, you know, 7 figures in venture capital. And I think that was very inspirational to me from a business point of view. And it shows what's possible today because of the capabilities of the cloud, that you can scale an entire business that can compete with IBM or HP or anybody using these services now with just, you know, a laptop and connection to the internet.